Number 2 is you have to ensure that each of your columns has the correct data type. Remember that on our step 4 here, Power Query applied a step for us called change type, where it tries to detect what data type you have in each of the columns. And trust me, it's going to have a very good guess and it's going to transform nearly everything correctly, but you want to ensure that all of this is actually correct. You have to do this to avoid problems up front. Okay, so we are going to start with the first column, order ID, and you will see that the data type is text, which is correct. So any column that doesn't have numbers and is not a date column should be classified mostly as text. In most cases, not in every case, but in most cases. So if you have a column that has a mixture of numbers and text, so that column is going to be a text column, because numbers column should be able to do calculations. You can't do any calculation on alphanumeric. Okay, so that's why order ID is text and it is correct. If I click on order date, you will see that this is a date column and it's also correct. Ship date is a date column and it's correct. Ship mode is a text column and it's correct. So because I am an advocate of laziness and best practice, so I'm an advocate of laziness, I always find what is the best method for us to do this. So if you have like 50 columns, we can't keep on clicking on one column after the other and checking the data type. So the best option for us to go through this is, when you look at the order ID column that is a text column, you will see that just beside the column header you have an icon with ABC, while the order date column has an icon that looks like a calendar. So this kind of tells us that anytime I see a column with ABC icon, I am looking at a text column. Anytime I see a column with a calendar icon, I am looking at a date column, which means I can just scroll through to the right and just confirm the icon beside the column header, and that will give me a cue as to whether that data type for that column is correct or not. So I'm going to scroll over to the right hand side now, and everything is looking correct. Everything seems fine. So postal codes as numbers, we'll have something to talk about this later on, but let me just keep on scrolling to the right. Okay, so you will see that sales has 1.2 and 1.2 is decimal number. Quantity has 123. 123 is whole number. Discount has 1.2 decimal number, profit is decimal number. So everything seems to be right. But let's say for some reason, if I scroll back to the left hand side, I want to change this postal code from numbers to text. Because if I classify anything that has to do with numbers as something that you can add two of those numbers together to provide something meaningful, that's what I consider as a number. For example, you can add two telephone numbers together, whatever the result is doesn't make any sense. You can add two bank account numbers, whatever the result is doesn't make sense. The same way, you cannot add two postal codes together, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to consider this postal code as a text column, as a categorical column rather than a numbers column. So I want to change this. The options I have is, from my home tab, I can come to data type here and I'll change this to text. Or option 2 is, remember, you want to do a transformation on a column, you can right click on that column and I will see change type and I can select text. Option 3, as an advocate of laziness that I am, always looking for the easiest way to do things. So I think option 3 is the simplest one, and that is by simply clicking on the 1, 2, 3 icon itself. So you want to click on the data type icon beside the header. So once I click on this, I will just simply select text. And that's how I'll be able to change that data type from numbers. So you can see that data type is now a text data type.